Democratic Congressman Steve Cohen joins me now. Congressman, appreciate you coming on the show. You've represented the greater Memphis area for nearly 20 years. I know you've spoken emotionally about what the African-American community in your district has meant to you. So when you watch this redistricting frenzy, it's happening all across the South. What do you see being lost?
Well, you see districts that are oftentimes like mine that were compact, which is the way districts should be, and instead being strung out in very unusual shapes. They talked in the Calais decision about the Louisiana case being like a snake, the district. Well, this is like some type of a Rube Goldberg snake. It goes from Memphis all the way to Middle Tennessee, 2 districts that are mostly rural and don't have any connection to the African-American population and inner city problems. We had a good district that was compact. That was Memphis. It was white and black. And it wasn't a Voting Rights Act district. It was just a natural, organic growth of a district that made sense. But the Republicans took this opportunity to destroy it, to try to get themselves an additional seat for Trump. And it hurts. We have a connection. I've represented this district 20 years. Everybody in the district knows me. And I see people at the grocery store, at the restaurants. A lady that brought me an Uber Eats the other day came up. She said something. I went to get my package from her, and an African-American lady, and I heard something. I said, "What did you say?" And she said, "I'm not ready for you to quit." I hate that. I mean, I love these people, love me, and I love them. And they're breaking it up, and they're going to have a congressman they're never going to see and never going to do anything for Memphis. And Memphis is a city that needs help. And this hurts the second largest city in the state, an iconic American city, not to have an office of the congressman here to deal with people's constituent problems, and not to be working for community grants that help programs in the city that help people who are down on their luck and need some help, whether it's homeless people or people getting out of prison and need some help with getting readjusting, whether it's just municipal parks, urban parks, you name it. That's not going to be here anymore.
You just mentioned some things that members of Congress can do that I think a lot of people out in America, with all of the fighting that's going on and all the bluster, forget about. So I know that you are challenging your state's redistricting effort. You've said you'd re-enter the race if the lawsuit succeeds, but do you think there's any chance of that at this point?
Well, there's always a chance, but I don't know. That we had a case I was a plaintiff in, we had a TRO refused us by the sitting federal judge, district court judge. There's a case going to be heard Thursday in Davidson County. I don't know who the chancellor is, but it's a possibility that they'll rule positively. They have maybe a different approach. I think the ACLU lawsuit. NAACP, ACLU, League of Women Voters have all filed. This is an attempt to cut out the black vote. They said it had anything to do with the black vote. It wasn't racial. But one of the districts is 29% black, a second is 29% black, and the third is like 31.5% black. The old story about if you put a monkey at a typewriter and they let them type for a while, a long time, eventually they'll come up with Shakespeare. Well, the redistricting people didn't come up with these districts trying to come up with Hamlet. They did these to split up the black vote evenly among these 3 districts to where the African-American population would not have a choice and not have an opportunity to select their congressperson.
I'm sure that the woman you spoke to when you went to pick up your order is far from the only constituent that you've heard from since you made your decision to drop out of the race. So as someone who, at least for the time, is looking at retirement, but drawing on the 20 years of what you've done as a member of Congress, what's your message to Democrats now? What message would you send to your party, maybe even about how they can fight back?
Well, we have to fight back with massive registration, so getting people to register to vote and voter registration programs and getting young people more involved in politics. So when they're young, as I went to the county party and worked for Lyndon Johnson in 1964, and I worked for John Kennedy. It was at the headquarters and stuffed envelopes or something. They used to have envelope stuffing. Now everything's done by mail order houses. But you need to get young people involved early and have them stay involved. And you have to change some of these processes. Maybe to make it, eventually you need to expand the court to 13 members. What the court's done is terrible, and John Roberts has destroyed the people's respect for the Supreme Court. I thought John Roberts was going to be concerned about the integrity and and the institutional respect it has. That's what he said he was going to do. But when he assigned this case to Alito to write the opinion, and when he gave it to him to do and to release it in April, late April, rather than in June, which most decisions are released, this was right after Virginia's redistricting. It's so obviously political. And if it's not political, let's just say it's not political on their intent, they should have known it would be interpreted as political, and John Roberts failed by letting it go out at that time. So it was either intentionally political or it was malfeasance on his part not to know that it would be seen that way, and he's hurt the reputation of the court. That's unfortunate. And you're right. I've had an unbelievable outpouring of support from constituents, people I've helped over the years, interns I've given jobs to, staff members writing long missives about what they learned and the appreciation, people that I've gotten appointments for federal positions, whether TVA or even judges and judges' families. It's been gratifying, but it's been kind of like watching my political funeral.
That can't be something that you either anticipated and certainly not the way that you wanted to end a career, but we'll keep a close eye because, as you say, you never know. We'll see what happens with your challenge. Congressman Steve Cohen, we appreciate you taking the time to talk to us and appreciate your service.
Thank you, Chris.